As a relationship coach, I spend a lot of time talking about love, personal growth, instincts, and breaking patterns. But it doesn't mean I haven't had to learn these lessons myself. Before I became a relationship coach, I used to believe that trusting my instincts was key to making the right choices. What I didn't realize was that sometimes what felt like instinct was actually an old familiar pattern playing out on repeat. And that's what I want to focus on today. How to understand and balance instinct, our gut instinct, with breaking old patterns. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shelley J. Whitehead, and I'm a specialist relationship coach working with individuals and couples all over the world to support them in laying those foundations for healthy love and thriving relationships, connections, based on instilling crucial relationship skills on a personal level as well as on a professional level. I've come to understand, let me get my breath here, that being able to balance instinct with breaking old patterns is a crucial part of self-development and personal growth. And it makes a huge difference to all of our relationships. I used to think that magnetic pull I felt towards certain people was my intuition guiding me toward love. And it was only when I started to look closer that I saw that my gut feelings were often leading me back into the same dynamics that weren't actually serving me. I had to learn how to separate true intuition from the comfort of what I already knew. So the first thing I want to talk about is how I learned to listen to my body. One of the biggest shifts for me was learning to tune into my body's signals, not just the loud ones, but the quiet ones too. There's a difference between something feeling right and something feeling familiar. And for me, that distinction changed everything. When I started pausing to check in with myself, I noticed that the situations I thought were exciting and full of potential often came with that subtle undercurrent of anxiety. My body knew before my mind did, and that I was stepping into that old pattern again. Another huge shift for me came from learning to pause before reacting or responding. This was all about learning how to slow down. My natural tendency was to act quickly, follow my feelings, and dive in head first. But when I started taking a breath before making decisions, I could see things more clearly. I realized that my strongest impulses weren't always pointing me towards something good, but were sometimes pulling me towards what felt familiar. And of course, familiar doesn't always mean healthy. Finally, learning to see my own patterns clearly was vital. One of the most important questions I started asking myself was, does this feel right because it's truly aligned with what I want, or just because it's always what I've done? That question alone stopped me from repeating those same old cycles. And the more I reflected, the more I saw I'd been drawn to certain dynamics, not because they were right for me, but because they mirrored something I'd learned in the past. When I became aware of that, I finally had the power to make very different choices. It really takes courage to do things differently. It's great to understand the theory, but breaking patterns happens in real life through questioning things and making conscious changes. I had to start experimenting with new choices, even when they felt uncomfortable. Setting boundaries where I had never set them before. Leaning into relationships that felt calm and steady rather than those dramatic, intense ones. And trusting a slow burn could be just as powerful as a spark. The more I did this, the more I realized that trusting myself wasn't about following the loudest instinct. Trusting myself was about listening deeply. Real intuition doesn't keep us stuck. It expands us. If any of this resonates with you, and if you've ever struggled with knowing whether to trust your instincts or challenge your patterns, I see you. I hear you. This work isn't easy, and it's worth it. Every time you make a new choice, you're rewriting the story, your story. Thank you for joining me in this video. Wherever you are in the season of your relationship journey, know that transformation happens one step at a time. Take all the time you need, but keep moving forward. I send you my love, and I wish you the courage to keep taking these steps forward, creating your enchanted life, because this is what you deserve, nothing less, and you're always a lot closer than you think.